Welcome to Houston, Texas, the place to be to get the best ribs in the world. At least that's from what I've been told. They got the best ribs around. Next to maybe somewhere in North Carolina somewhere, at least that's from what I understand. But anyway, the Raw before Royal Rumble. Now I was very reluctant to look at this Raw because of how the last Raw was. It wasn't that great. But I'll say this, even though it's very few matches in the entire show, you got some good stuff going into Raw. But I do believe they talked a lot more than last week. And I know many people, and I believe it's DDL Little Mama. If I'm saying your name wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm very bad with names until I get to really know you. But I understand what she's saying. They've been doing the Raw promos for so long. It's become like a staple for WWE. I don't know why they're doing that. It's very stupid. They need to drop that for a while to give us something refreshing. I understand it. But there is a point where the talking points of the theme of the show becomes so saturated, you don't really care about the show at all. Now, in this respect, I will say this. The talking points in the beginning of the show with Brock, with Seth and everybody, it was average. But when Stephanie said, and well, basically Stephanie and Triple H, the King of Kings, as the Slick Daddy would say, kind of grabbing from him. He said, you know what, we're going to leave this little match I'm giving you to the WWE Universe. Do you actually want him to do it or not on the app? Now, I have to admit, this has been done more than a few times, but in this instance, I believe was the wisest thing to do. And the reason I'm saying this is very simple. Since they've been pushing so hard to show that Cena has to have a consequence, they have to let the universe now push the consequence so it'll feel like it was worth it. Now, I'm sure there might have been a little bit of an skew when it comes to the WWE app and the voting, because they were going to do this no matter what the people voted. But it's understandable why they did it, and I'm alright with that. Now, the first match of the night is Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, Mr. Yes Man himself. Daniel looks really different with that really long hair now. But was it a bad match? They've never had bad matches together. But I do believe throwing Kane into the mix really didn't make me feel better. Even though I understand the reason why they're doing it. Because Kane will be facing Daniel Bryan on SmackDown to see if he's going to be in the match of the Royal Rumble or not. I understand what he did it. They had to fuck him over. But honestly, seeing Kane beat down Daniel Bryan, it's not something that really felt like it was necessary for me. Even though it wasn't bad, the crowd was somewhat into it, and I'll go with that. But for me personally, seeing that was just not 100% necessary. It wasn't. The way Kane was shown all last week, and now all this week, was just too much. You want to make sure Kane, who's a monster, isn't overutilized, and he's been utilized so much that he feels irrelevant. Even if Daniel Bryan loses the match, which I believe he will not, it didn't really feel like a real threat to me. It just didn't. Seeing Dean Ambrose face a Bad News Barrett felt really empty-ish. Honestly, I really felt like it would have been better to force a Dean Ambrose to go into the match. Because if he had been walking out limping heavily and having his knee wrapped up, would have been a much more better thing to go into Royal Rumble. Because seeing the way he is, and then at the end of the match he was feeling pain and he was having a problem limping and stuff, really didn't make it, it didn't really sell it for me. It doesn't mean it was a bad match between him and Bad News Barrett. It just didn't feel credible enough that he could be injured enough to go into Royal Rumble that he could not win. And this leads me into the legends, the first set of legends out of two legend sets. The first one is Ric Flair, the wheeling, dealing, whining and dining. want to make sure my Space Mountain is in as many women as possible. Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and the HBK. Now I have to say with HBK beforehand, when it came to the Miz and Mizdow, it wasn't that bad with him. I mean, he was the most somewhat interesting person there. But I will explain my feelings about Hall, about Nash, and about X-Pac in a minute. But let me get this done. Seeing that Ric Flair was one who said Dean Ambrose should be the one who should win, really puts him over. At least until Big Show came out and knocked his ass out. Now, I'm not going to lie here. Seeing the Flair get his ass knocked out by Big Show did not fill me with a lot of joy. It made me upset. Because when it really comes down to it, Ric Flair doesn't go in the ring anymore. He doesn't need to be in the ring. Let him be a spokesman for the WWE. Let him be a manager for WWE. Let him be a plot device. That didn't feel like a plot device. I decided to say bye-bye. Sorry, but I'm saying this honestly. When it comes to Ric Flair, he doesn't need to do that anymore. And it really didn't feel like it totally benefited a Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, it just didn't. He did, at least compared for the last couple of weeks where I don't know what it is. Whoever's been writing for him saying all this stupid fantasy shit like the beanstalk and being like Jack, I'm glad he didn't say shit. He has been tricked out too much. So him being quiet was smart. But this is the thing. It would have been better for him after it was over to say, who the F you think you are? You don't touch Flair. That would have been the best thing for him to do. A very, very short segment. He doesn't need to do anything long and lengthy. And that's where it comes down to it. Seeing the Big Show hurt his arm, that wasn't much. Seeing him retreat wasn't much. I mean, it just makes Roman Reigns look okay. But it would have been better if he charged the ring and then he might have got another Superman punch in the face. But I'm sure many people are going to say, hey, that's good because he acted scared. I just feel like it could have been a little bit more. But it wasn't bad until Ric Flair got his ass knocked out. I'm sorry. It was cool to see him go, woo! Doing a chop, chop, chop. Until he got his ass knocked out. Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, next, the match I really don't understand. New Day versus Kid and Cesaro. Now, I'm alright seeing Natalya walking around looking beautiful and everything like that. I'm hoping that Tyson Kidd will finally go off with the Bellas so we can get that situation over with. But seeing this, what is Tyson Kidd and Cesaro doing? Nothing. You teamed up Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who could get over, with Adam Rose, who literally has been dropped like a hot potato. I don't think they even have a clue what to do in the WWE. That's sad. He just seems like a very lost gimmick that could have gotten over very well. And that just hurts me, personally. He could have been something really interesting. But seeing New Day win, I hate New Day. I'm sorry. Like I said before, they could still get over. If the crowd says, you know what, this is bullshit. We want to see these guys as heels. But if you're going to shove this down our throat, WWE, we're going to turn it on his fucking face. And we're going to cheer these motherfuckers, even though we can't stand them as they are. That's the way it could be. Now the Clique. Let's be honest here. Seeing Scott Hall was lovely. Seeing X-Pac was kind of in between. Seeing Kevin Nash, you can love him or hate him. I will say he got guns on his arms. The man still works out pretty damn hard to show that type of muscle on him. He ain't weak. But I gotta say this, and I think I said this in one of my Impact reviews, just kind of going to Impact. I was hoping they may bring in an old legend over to Impact where they could help them in the next couple of months. Scott Hall does not look like he's in condition to actually do that. He looks very badly run down. X-Pac as well. Nash, you don't want to see Nash in there. Big Daddy Sexy doesn't look good either unless they dye their hair. They're not in a good condition. Just don't look good. But seeing this segment, I One, I wonder why HPK wasn't there. Why couldn't he also be with the Clique? Two, the Ascension coming out, Connor and Victor. This isn't the first time this has been done. It has been done before. But the one thing that set it off for me was not the New Age Outlaws, was not the Clique. It was seeing Ron Simmons. Oh, hell yeah. Damn! I had to say it like, damn! I had to say it just like that because I always loved me the Farouk, the Ron Simmons, and the AP. I'll say this. Seeing JBL get up, like, oh shit, he actually gonna do something for once, was actually pretty okay. Seeing Ron Simmons come out in the APA, Protection Agency, was lovely to see. And then seeing the New Age Outlaws beat the crap out of the Ascension wasn't something I wasn't totally surprised about. No one in there is really a wrestler anymore. Even JBL doing the clotheslines from hell, he's not a wrestler anymore. He can't wrestle even if he wants to. He's too fucked up. But essentially, seeing this was okay. I was really happy to see Farouk. Ron Simmons was the one thing I cared about the most. I was happy. I was actually kind of thinking, since they're bringing back legends, why don't they bring back, you have another tag team that was near there that could have been done. And that's Booker T and his brother in Harlem Heat, baby. If you have brought out his brother along with Farouk, and he came out, and I'm talking about Booker T's brother, Booker T came to the ring, and then with his brother would dance and then do the spin-a-rooney. That would have been epic. I know no one else might have cared about that. I'd only seen Harlem Heat briefly in the 90s, but I would love to see that. I'm okay with that. That's if he's okay. I don't remember what condition he's in. But that was the best part of the show for me. Seeing two things, Rusev and Truth. I didn't really care. I didn't care about Rusev and I didn't care about Truth. If they're setting this up for the Royal Rumble, I understand it, but I don't really care. Jimmy Uso versus The Miz. I didn't care. Now, you had the flip of each one. One heel one face one. But do I really care? No. And I feel like they didn't need to happen on this show. Even though it's great to see that Rusev got time. Great to see that the Usos got time with The Miz. R-Truth, it's kind of sad for him because that was his birthday. And he had the job. That's how I feel about it. Paige and Natalya versus Summer and Fox. You guys tell me below. Is there going to be a Divas match on the Royal Rumble for the Divas Championship? As far as I know, no. There's going to be a tag match between the Bellas and Paige and Natalya. Why? What is the point of that? Except to let Nikki keep the title longer. I'm sorry. Whoever loves the Bellas, you should be fucking angry right now. As much as you're probably happy that the Bellas have one of the Bellas has the belt, what are they doing? The Bellas are doing practically nothing. And whoever's a Bella fan should be pretty fucking pissed off that they're doing nothing with the women they love so damn much if they watch Total Divas and see them here. Just being seen is not enough. They were doing better when they had that storyline months ago. And that wasn't a great storyline either. Lastly, the ending of the show with Cena versus Show, Kane, and Seth Rollins. I didn't really care about the match. I knew Cena was going to win. There was no way they're going to keep him out of the match at Royal Rumble. It wasn't going to happen. But what made me happy was seeing Sting come out and save John Cena again. This is what it really comes down to. John Cena getting his ass saved by Sting and setting up Sting versus Triple H. Which, if this is done at Elimination Chamber, I'm cool with that. Because I really want to see Sting versus The Undertaker. I don't want to see Sting versus... it upsets me. You know what it is. You know the rumors. But why would you put Sting without The Undertaker. This is something we've been asking for so many years. And then they're going to dick tease us where there's a good chance that next year or this year, The Undertaker will retire. Now, if he doesn't retire and he does in WrestleMania 32, I think it's pretty dumb because they really need to do it now. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. And I'll say this isn't a very bad go-home show, but Sting made it very palatable for me at the end. So I hope you enjoy this Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. Watch out for my debate of the week. I was not able to get my Karma, well, actually Awesome Kong, known as Karma in WWE, and Havoc debate of the week done until yesterday. So it will be uploaded after this one. I'm very sorry about that. So I hope you have a good day and have a good night. Peace out!